Thank you very much. You know, it's, the military youth are near and dear to my heart. I was a military youth. I was an Army brat, moving around from place to place. And it's surprisingly hard on young teens. And so with that, I'm so proud of Celeste for winning last year, but I'm also proud to introduce Carlos Vega. He's from the Fort Leavenworth Boys and Girls Club. Carlos is 16. He's been a club member for 7 years. And he's active in sports clubs. He's an JROTC, and he's also a member of an Army team panel. He volunteers at the church, and he plans to go to KU and join the U.S. Air Force. So, Carlos Vega, right here.
Ever since the 6th grade, I've been coming to Harold's Youth Center's Boys and Girls Club after-school program. The staff who work at the club have been my mentors through the years and have watched me grow up. They are like family to me because I can turn to any one of them when I have a problem. Even if it's just the simple things, such as when to tell them a new joke or when you just need someone to talk to. One of my key involvements at the club is participating in Passport to Manhood, which is focused on teaching young boys to become better men. I involve myself with this program as a peer mentor to help guide the younger boys and to demonstrate that they can accomplish their goals. Since I've been attending for a long time, the staff knows and trusts me. That special trust has given me the opportunity to be paid for leadership positions because they know I'm responsible, I get my work completed on time, and I'm looked up to by the younger members of the club. And I've also been asked to help recruit new members and to mentor the younger ones. People, for the most part, view me as a dedicated, caring, and responsible young man. I am dedicated because I like to finish what I start, and I believe that anyone can do anything if only they put the time and effort into it. The people in my life know that I always try to do what's right. I always fight for the underdog and stand up for the ones who won't speak out. I lead by example and volunteer without hesitation. Whether I'm volunteering at a homeless shelter on Thanksgiving or in my JROTC's food stand. I want people to remember me as being the one who is there when they need me, and I was always willing to help without complaining. Many in today's youth feel that they have all the time in the world to be carefree, but unfortunately, life moves at a pretty fast pace. One day we'll all be on our own, whether at college or living away from home. Until that time, I'm participating in many positive activities to better myself. These activities include programs at the Youth Center, working toward my Eagle Scouts for Boy Scouts of America, and being a representative at the Army Youth Leadership Forum and the World Youth Leadership Forum for the past 2 years. Growing up within a military community has been very beneficial for me because I've been able to have a unique childhood. I have attended elementary and junior high on Fort Leavenworth, and I've been involved in child and youth services since the 2nd grade. Even though my family didn't have to move, I had friends whose parents were in the active duty military. In the 3rd grade, I had 2 very good friends who moved to Fort Bliss and El Paso, Texas. It was a tough time, and I was sad to see them go. They were as close as brothers to me. I feel very strongly that without the military, I'd never have met all the amazing people that I have. I would like to take this opportunity to thank my mother, who is my biggest advocate. And without her support, I've never had all these wonderful experiences that I have. I'm honored to be your son, and I'm honored to be running for the Fort Leavenworth Youth of the Year. Thank you.
And we'll have our next one, who is from Fort Riley Youth Services, Isabel Calle, come up, and she will be able to, she's over here, she'll give her speech.
Hello, I'm Isabel Calle from Fort Riley, Kansas. Growing up as a military child has been such an incredible experience and has allowed me to craft my own unique personal brand consisting of creativity, compassion, and commitment. From Fort Stewart, Georgia to Fort Carson, Colorado, and then to Puckapunyal, Australia, my family has had the privilege of traveling to several different bases both in and out of the country. Even though my father deployed several times during those moves, and often for 12 months or more at a time, my family adapted and became resilient, growing our strength as a 6-person unit. I adapted my unique personal brand consisting of creativity, compassion, and commitment in 2014 when we moved to Hawaii as I became really involved in the Schofield Barracks Youth Center. I grew many long-lasting friendships there and received incredible academic and emotional support from the staff that worked there. They encouraged me to try my hand at the many different clubs they had to offer, and I found that it was Keystone that really helped me to thrive. Being a member of Keystone allowed me to help work at the neighboring Child Development Center, help set up and run many of the center's dances and lock-ins, as well as set up and paint faces for BGCA's Day for Kids events. These opportunities gave me the chance to work with children in art, both of which I am very passionate about. As I became more involved in event decorating and face painting, I grew a passion for drawing and painting. It allowed me to exercise the first trait in my personal brand, creativity. As I became more involved in the art room, I grew a stronger bond with Miss Melissa, the staff member in charge of the youth center's art room. She taught me compassion and helped me to cultivate it as the second trait in my personal brand through her unconditional kindness towards myself and other youth. During my second year at the Schofield Barracks Youth Center, I applied and was selected for the enormous honor of participating in the Pacific Army Teen Panel. My duties as a member included active volunteerism, attending monthly video teleconferences, and attending the global meeting in Massachusetts over the summer. We found out through surveys and the Operation Megaphone Lock-in the sorts of problems that teens were facing around the area, and it really helped me to advocate for them over the summer. When I moved to Fort Riley this past October, I was welcomed at the Youth Center with open arms. They encouraged me to continue my leadership development and to continue my community involvement. They really helped me to have a smooth transition, and I am absolutely thankful for that. If there was any word that could describe my entire experience in my entire life, it would be blessed. I feel incredibly blessed to be standing before you now and to have been involved in so many wonderful, welcoming communities. Without all of these opportunities and experiences, I might not be the creative, compassionate, and committed leader I am today. Thank you.
So Carlos and Isabel are the two candidates for the 2018 Boys and Girls Club Military Youth of the Year for the state of Kansas. And so now we're going to switch over to the 2018 Kansas Youth of the Year from the traditional clubs. And so the first one will be presenting for the Boys and Girls Club of Coffeyville, Julian Stevenson.
Growing up, I had an obsession with plants. It was pretty funny. I memorized mother's gardening books, while my dad's gardening tools rust in the rain. All I cared about was plants at the time. I soon grew out of it, but one thing from that phase has always stuck with me. Everything needs a support system to grow, become lively, and bloom in full potential. I found this to be true with more than just pretty flowers. As a kid and growing young adult, I often found myself in situations that did not allow me to grow. Bullies that left me insecure and lonely. My own insecurities as a nerdy, fat little black girl left me feeling the full self-conscious effects of my weight, race, and intelligence. And a flood that tore through my home and ripped away my safety left me drowning in confusion at the age of 7. I was lost and scared, and therefore I was aggressive and protective at the world, just very lost and confused. I found myself without support and desperately needing it. I was a seed, a flower, waiting and wanting to bloom. But all these issues were like bad soil, polluted water, and dark skies. I found myself with no support. Then, Boys and Girls Club found me. I found sanctuary, guidance, and sanity at 502 Walnut Street, Coffeyville, Kansas. I just am a local BGC, just so you know. And there I found people that taught me to have passion over what I did, take pride in the impression I leave, and always strive to be myself. No longer did I hate myself, I enjoyed being myself. I found interaction and stability, true friends and mentors who loved me for who I was and wanted me to be safe and happy and positive. And most of all, I found support and great comfort. A true second family in Boys and Girls Club. It hit me this last year just how prominent the club is and was and will remain in my life. This past June, 8 short months ago, I lost a vital piece of my support system. She was my inspiration, my motivation, my best friend, my cheerleader, my first love. My mother passed away. And just like family, Boys and Girls Club were the first people there. They were with me step by step in my grief, overcoming loss, overcoming tragedy, and leading into something positive. Which is so great, I can't even explain in a 3-minute speech. I just want to say this. Thank you, BGC. If it wasn't for you, I truly wouldn't be able to stand in front of you all. I wouldn't be the person who I am today. The Boys and Girls Club mission statement is this. To reach out and enable all young people, especially those who need us most, to be responsible, caring, and productive citizens. And that's just what Boys and Girls Club has done for me. Thank you.
And next up from the Boys and Girls Club of Hutchinson, Tavion Gray.
Once a year, Hutchinson, Kansas transforms into Smallville. Smallville is a comic-based event where people dress as their favorite superheroes and supervillains. The superheroes are easy to spot with their fancy capes and their fancy masks. They're also called super because of their supernatural abilities and just being able to make the world a better place. The Boys and Girls Club of Hutchinson has meant many things to the hundreds, if not thousands of families that have walked through the bright blue doors. For some, it was simply a place to go after school. For others, such as myself, it's become a second home, or in my case, a second bat cave. Rewind to the start of kindergarten. I'm getting out of school the first day. I'm wondering, where am I going? How long will I be here? Do the vision leaders really have laser vision? And most importantly, do they have any food? All the essential questions. To my delight, this place was fantastic. My best friends were here. I loved the staff. And just overall, it was an awesome place. This will go on for years to come. Superheroes, as I said before, are called super because of their abilities to just make the world a better place. I saw this more than ever, and I saw it in first person when I was in the 4th grade. When I was in the 4th grade, my mom was diagnosed with cancer. I needed a hero. I would learn by watching my heroes such as Mr. Lance, Mr. Reggie, and Mr. Josh help me out through these tough times. I can tell you that some of my best moments in Shattuck include after teen nights, my younger sister and I would always get dropped off last because we lived way out of town. So either Mr. Reggie or Mr. Josh, sometimes both, would have us bring a couple extra dollars and we would go get something to eat while they took me home. I was robbing along for the ride with Batman. To them, this was nothing more than a small gesture. But to me, a kid whose mother was battling cancer at the time and his dad was always taking his mom up to Kansas City for chemo, this had meant the world. Or in this case, perhaps they had just saved mine. I know the heroes that we read about are fictional, but for any kid looking for their Justice League of sorts, the capes of the Boys and Girls Club of Hutchinson are flying for anyone who needs a hero. And for that, I say thank you.
Next one comes from the Boys and Girls Club of Lawrence, Ruth Gaffingeri.
Growing up, I was literally the black sheep in the crowd. All my neighbors are white, and all my classmates are white. My first exposure to how insanely difficult it is to be a black woman in America came at a very early age. When I was in preschool, I was so excited for my mom to come to my class to share our Kenyan culture with my friends. I thought this would be an opportunity for my friends to appreciate my heritage. But instead, the opposite happened. They made fun of me, and I was ashamed. I was picked on for my body, hair, personality, and everything that makes me, me. Once I arrived to middle school, things got even harder. Girls became so worried about what they looked like and what people thought of them. I found myself slipping into this trap too. Beauty standards we saw in mainstream media were something we were all chasing, but I realized I could never reach. This crushed my confidence, but luckily, I had the summer at Boys and Girls Club to rely on. I remember one of our group leaders, Miss Kit Kat, got all the girls together and handed us a piece of paper. She told us to write one thing that we loved about ourselves. I looked at that piece of paper for what seemed like forever. I couldn't think of anything. It wasn't until Miss Kit Kat was able to share what she loved about herself that I saw something beautiful inside myself. My big hair, big smile, and big personality are what I love about myself. As a club, I found my inner beauty and it began to shine on the outside. Now, my role has shifted from group leader being from my role has shifted from kid being influenced to that of a group leader, that of a mentor doing the influencing. When I was a kid, I always saw my group leaders as superheroes. They're able to have fun with us and guide us through adversities of life. Today, I wear my staff shirt like a cape. And with my superpowers of kindness, empathy, and positivity, I want to inspire all youth that no matter what size, shape, or color they are beautiful. Thank you.
From the Boys and Girls Club of Manhattan, Ivy 11.
As Lord Alfred Tennyson once said, to strive, to seek, to find, but never to yield. Monday, December 4th, 2017, at 4:41 p.m., my best friend went missing. After about a week of searching for him, they sent out a missing persons report, and the day after he was found. They placed him in Junction City Juvenile Detention Center and then put him in foster care. He ran away from home due to constant abuse. I was able to relate to him due to the fact that I'm a witness of domestic abuse at home, but what really helped was I was able to refer him to the Boys and Girls Club. He said at the Boys and Girls Club he received attention that he just wasn't getting at home. The Boys and Girls Club helped both him and I persevere through the hardships of life, never yielding, striving for happiness, seeking respect, and doing all the things as Alfred Tennyson said. Although this scenario may seem rather extreme, it's not inadequate. The amount of help I received through the Boys and Girls Club is immense. As they say, their mission is to enable all young people to be productive, caring, and responsible citizens. And that's exactly what they've done for me. From self-development to asking how I'm doing every day. Simply by asking, how are you? How's your day going? It makes a difference and starts a chain of kindness across my club. But before I knew the true value of the Boys and Girls Club, let's just say I was a little rude and egotistical. I put everyone I met below me, but the Boys and Girls Club showed me that life isn't about ourselves. It's about how we can improve others. And once I learned this value, I took it into deep consideration, and it made me want to be a therapist. The Boys and Girls Club has helped me so much and encouraged me so much with me wanting to go to Oklahoma University. And they have been so helpful and motivational. From day-to-day motivational speeches to letting me know about scholarships coming up and activities that could better me in the future. As of all things that the Boys and Girls Club has done for me, it's only right that I give some back. The plan is Dress for Success. The idea is that job interviews and social events highly value first impressions, and being keenly dressed is the key factor. The plan is purchase professional attire from local thrift stores and donate them to my Boys and Girls Club, while providing tutorials on how to do things like tie a tie, do your hair, and makeup. And I'll also be teaching sign language to my club. The Boys and Girls Club has given me so many new talents and character traits that I'm so thankful for. I want every teen and youth to have the experiences and privileges that I was given. If I'm named Youth of the Year, I will make sure that every youth, teen, adult knows that the Boys and Girls Club is the place to be, where the staff is kind and generous, and that you are respected and loved. My name is Ivy Aletti, and I love my Boys and Girls Club. Because great futures start here. Thank you.
And from the Boys and Girls Club of South Central Kansas, Christopher Burrell.
Have you ever wanted to meet someone so badly that you would do anything to make that dream come true? This is how I feel about my father. But if you were to walk right past me, I wouldn't even know it. He has missed all 18 of my birthdays, and I'm 100% sure he won't come to my graduation either. In the 2nd grade is when he should have come for me. My mother, dealing with the loss of multiple sets of twins, was consumed by her own grief. I was taken out of my childhood home, separated from my siblings, and ripped away from my mother. He was notified and still did not come. I was forced to sit in the back of a police car by myself and wipe away my own tears of heartbreak. And as a result, I put up walls. After a year, my mother worked to overcome her grief, and we returned home. She then made the decision to enroll me in the Boys and Girls Club. On my first day, I noticed the excitement in all the other club members' eyes, and how the staff made everyone feel welcome. And after months of feeling unloved, lonely, and secluded, this is exactly what I needed. The programs offered, like Keystone, Smart Moves, and basketball, helped guide me through childhood. My favorite program was Passport to Manhood, because men who I looked up to reminded me that it was okay to be smart, and to just be myself. The men of this program, along with club staff, slowly but surely became father figures, and allowed for me to lower my walls of distrust. In the process, they replaced all of my insecurities with confidence. But most importantly, I now knew that if need be, I had someone to help wipe away the tears, which I once had to wipe away on my own. And although my club experience seemed perfect up to this point, as a preteen, there was a rough patch. I exhibited a negative attitude and made a few poor decisions. And eventually, I was suspended from the club. But I returned from my suspension to find that the staff never stopped believing in me. And by the end of 8th grade, I began to believe in myself. In high school, the club acted as my first source of employment and allowed for me to help support my family financially. It also acted as an avenue for me to network with business leaders and go on college visits, which have helped me decide that I want to become a mechanical engineer. Now, looking back, I can see the transition that I have made from a young boy to a young man. The club, staff, and members alike have all been a positive life influence. My Boys and Girls Club has given me hope for a brighter future and reminded me that I am in full control of my own destiny. And while I do not understand my father's decisions, I would never hold them against him. I've come to realize that I cannot let someone dictate my life when they decided not to be in it. I would just continue to be great for my friends, family, and staff at the club. I am now a confident, ambitious, and determined young leader. And finally, for any youth who feels unloved, like I once did, just love your club, because I promise it will always love you right back.